What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel after a very long break. I am back in the States. As you can probably tell, we're in a brand new house. It might echo a little bit. It does sound a little bit weird, so if it does, I do apologize. But we are back with TSGG Gamepass Gold, and Indie Adventures will also be returning, as well as quite a few new games coming up in the future. I'm very happy to be back making videos for you guys again. It is a long time coming. The giveaway for the Ruckus Talking Head is completed. It's on its way to Virginia. If the person, I gave him the opportunity, I said, hey, if you wanted to post it on social media, don't worry about it. You can tag us or anything. Not sure if he will, but if he does, I'll be sure to show that on Twitter and Instagram. But without further ado, we're going to be doing Metro Exodus by 4A Games. This is actually one of the brand new titles that was added to Game Pass Gold at E3. I hope you guys enjoy it. As always, if you do, leave a like and subscribe and have an awesome week. Okay, so it has been actually about a month overall since we did do our last TSGG Game Pass Gold. So real quick with you, I'll just go back over the review template that we use just to kind of remind or refresh everybody about how we do it here. So basically, we break it down into these categories. I'm not going to grade because I don't do that with the Game Pass Gold. These aren't reviews. These are honestly just games that I think are really good, and they make the Game Pass service itself very valuable to have for the I think it's $10.99 a month now, or when the Ultimate comes out, the $15, $14.99 that it will be. It's just a very valuable service, and we just do these to highlight that. But basically, the categories are fun factor and emergence, control and gameplay mechanics, graphics, music and sound, and story and replayability. With Metro, I'm just going to lead this off. This one suffered mightily in the media. This one did not, it was pretty hyped up, and it did not hit where people expected it to. It did not sell too well. I think that's actually probably why it's on Game Pass Gold, I think that's why it's on Game Pass, is that developers who have seen struggle have seen their games come back on Game Pass service. So that could be why it's there, not 100% on that, of course. But I'm going to break it down for you guys. I thought it was a pretty decent game going through it. As you'll see, it's an FPS. I think the biggest struggle for this is that it starts pretty slow, and I think that's hard to keep people's attention in this day and age in gaming, with so many new games coming out every month, that if something comes out and your game is slow to pick up or it's slow to build, you're going to struggle to keep people playing your game. And I think that that is actually where this one struggled a little bit, because the crafting and things that do make the game enjoyable are a little bit later on into the game, and kind of leading up to that is just kind of a basic FPS game. It's got a pretty good story. It's basically just, if you guys haven't played any of the Metro games before, it's based in Russia after like the apocalypse basically, and it is post-apocalyptic. So what's happening in Metro Exodus is you're actually leaving the underground lands, or the underground where the other games were based, and you're kind of exploring to see what's going on above ground. You're taking a look in and seeing what, basically you're fighting a lot of humans, but there's also mutants and monsters and things of that nature, as you would expect in a post-nuclear apocalypse. And that's where they took this game. Not the most creative, but also not too overused. You don't see it as much like the Fallout games. They use it, of course, but other than that, there's not too many games out there that use this kind of style or this story. I mean, so pretty decent there. It's just very slow. This is actually kind of an issue that I've had with their other games, is it just takes a while to build up. When it does build up, though, the gameplay is very fun. This gameplay that we're actually showing you here is pretty early game. So you'll see it. It's just a regular FPS at this point, and that can kind of be frustrating for people who saw the cool crafting system, who saw all the monsters, and even on the thumbnail of this video, you see this giant bat creature, but you want to be able to fight that. In this video, you might see you'll see a monster, you'll see a few mutant type things, but mostly it's human combat that we've shown here. But Anyway, without further ado, I've said quite a bit about the game and what it is, but let's break it down. Fun factor and emergence, a lot of it I just went into, but basically this game gets much more fun down the road, I guess. This game is very enjoyable when the crafting system picks up and when you kind of get your own agenda. You can kind of do whatever you'd like at that point, and it gives you ways to do the missions that are completely your own. So starting off, you're kind of just thrown into it and told what to do and how to do it. And that's most games. They kind of have that tutorial phase or those tutorial mission kind of things. But this one is just, it's an FPS game, and it doesn't really set itself apart in that manner, I guess. And you're never, as an FPS game, you're never going to beat games like Call of Duty or Battlefield or the kind of the big games unless you set yourself apart. And that's what I think Metro failed to do in the beginning. Control and gameplay mechanics are smooth. The crafting is pretty easy and cool to just kind of see your gun change as you're going through it. The progression is fun in the actual enemies, seeing the different factions and a lot of those things. It's very cool and enjoyable there. It's just it all comes down to how long it takes to get to those things. But it's good nonetheless. And then we get to the graphics. The graphics are very pretty. This is honestly, to me, the best part of the game. It's post-apocalyptic Russia, and I think they captured that really well, from the trains to the different encampments of the enemies to even the monsters and the mutants. The way they're designed they're simultaneously well designed and also scary, or not scary, but just they're kind of what you would expect of post-apocalyptic nuclear holocaust type things, I guess, is the best. They're mutants, and they're done very well, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. They really did a good job, and you can tell they put a lot of attention to detail into them, and into the different encampments and other types of things. The water, just going across the water and kind of seeing the sea monster type things in there and stuff like that. They put a lot of time and effort into, and I do really appreciate that. In 2019, it's hard to say things about graphics because we expect this. We're coming to the end of a life cycle of a console. We expect top-end graphics, and I think they actually really hit that pretty well here. Music and sound, is another area they did pretty well in, just because it sets the mood for you, which is what you want to do with the musical score of the game. You want to set the mood for what's going on, and what they've done with this is they really set kind of the tone of being what it is, post-apocalyptic Russia. I'm going to get it right one of these times, I swear. I will say it properly. But they really set the mood for what is going on, especially in a lot of the cutscenes and the kind of quick time events things. Not quick time events per se, like there's no button mashing, but it's not a cutscene, but it's kind of in between cutscene and gameplay, and you're not actually doing it. So I'm going to stick with quick scene. But so those things are done really well. I don't have any issues with the music. Some games I think they just get pretty generic, but this one I think it really does set up for what's going on or what's going to happen down the road. The kind of stressful music that they put in there is done really well. So I can't be upset about that. I can't really. Where this game struggles for me is the timing. It's came out with a lot of other games. It came out with a lot of other FPS games, and it struggles in that manner, and it struggles to compete in that field. Story and replayability, honestly, I think the game did really well here. I think that it's a captivating story of post-apocalyptic Russia. See, I told you I'd get it right one of those times. But it really does capture what you'd expect, and while simultaneously kind of throwing in things that are off the wall. The mutant bat people, the things like that, they've really done that well, and it does add to the story, and it definitely is captivating. You build relationships with the NPCs. Right in this video that you'll be watching, you'll see there is an NPC who it's a mother and child, and in a post-apocalyptic world, you're worried about people like that. You're worried about the young and the old and the sick and things like that. You're concerned. So when you do see them in game, it kind of automatically builds that relationship or that rapport there, and that is what you want out of a story-based game or a story-driven game. And I think they did well with it. I think they kind of set up the fear in these people and the fear of not knowing where the food is coming from, not knowing what's going to happen next, being captured by enemies, being just, they really did that well. Even the dialogue is done well. The aspects of this game that really succeed are story and graphics to me. Those, they did really well with those, with kind of the relationships. Like I said, the relationship building, it's not to the point where like a Witcher 3 or something like Fallout, where you can make really big decisions that impact the game and the story, but it is simultaneously, on the other side of the flip side of the coin, sorry, it is there. The relationships, you fear for these people, you want to be the hero and protect them, which is kind of the protagonist. That's what you play. And I think they did that well in this game. So I'm not exactly sure if the reasons that I've said are why it didn't do as well as it should have, or as well as it was expected to do. It could have just been that it was a super busy year as far as games go, and it was a super busy time of the year. So it could be that this one just kind of slipped through the cracks. So it's up to you to decide for yourself. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. If it was something, if it didn't set itself apart between the other FPSs in the genre and things like that. If that's the case, let me know, because I appreciate all of your opinions. I want to know what you guys think. But as always, that's all I've got. If you do enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, and have an awesome week.